Greetings and welcome to the World Wide Well. My name is Dave Householder and I am blessed to be your Bible teacher. Today I'm going to take you to the book of James, toward the end of the New Testament, chapter 5. James chapter 5. Now James was the earthly brother of Jesus, and it seems like he was one of the main leaders of the church after Jesus' death and resurrection. And James wrote a very, very pragmatic book, which has a lot of good things in it, and a lot of people have some favorite Bible verses in the book of James. There's one part of James, however, which most of us in North America would like to skip, and it's the part on patience. Patience is not something which culturally is a strong point for those of us growing up in North America, especially with the quickness at which we can get service. For goodness sake, if you've got Amazon Prime, you can get almost anything on your doorstep the next day or two. And the idea of waiting for something just isn't there. And a lot of us don't have a lot of muscle and a lot of toughness and a lot of grit when it comes to waiting and patience. And the truth is, patience is a fantastic skill to have, because delayed gratification, as opposed to instant gratification, is the pathway to abundance, prosperity, good, long-lasting relationships, good health, excellent employment and vocation, all of those things. If we can't delay gratification, it's hard to achieve any of those things except by luck. And so we're a culture that likes to have things right away, right now. We want our value meal supersized instantly, if not sooner. There's a joke that says, "Lord, give me patience and give it to me right now." Well, the book of James has a part that those of us from North America like to skip. It's a part on patience, and I'm going to read it to you. This is verse 7, chapter 5, verse 7. Therefore, be patient, brothers and sisters. Whenever you see brothers in the New Testament, the word is adelphoi, which means people who have shared the same womb, and that's brothers and sisters, until the coming of the Lord. Notice how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth and is patient with it until he receives the early and late rain. When you're watching plants, they don't grow, but if you come back a few days later, they have grown. And we like to see that little spinning ball on our computers and our phones to make sure that something's really happening. And we see the progress of things. And maybe they're just trying to fool us with that stuff anyways, but we definitely like to see that things are moving. If we can't see it moving, we get impatient. But farmers don't see anything moving. How the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth and is patient with it until he receives the early and late rain. You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is drawing near. Do not grumble. And I think that there's two choices in life. We can be grumblers or gratitude people. Both start with gra, gratitude or grumbling. And gratitude is the royal road into God's presence and a sense of well-being. Grumbling, complaining, is the exact opposite, the polar opposite of gratitude. And very often we're grumbling, we don't sense the Lord's presence, and we don't feel joy, we feel a sort of sourness. And we really can choose whether we're going to be people of gratitude or people of grumbling. Verse 9, do not grumble against one another, brothers, lest you be condemned. Look, the judge is standing at the door. My brothers and sisters, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord as an example of suffering and patience. Indeed, we count them happy who endure delayed gratification. You have heard of the patience of Job and have seen the purpose of the Lord, that the Lord is very gracious and merciful. But above all things, my brothers and sisters, do not swear either by heaven or by earth or by any other oath. Let your yes be yes and your no be no, so that you do not fall into condemnation. Being impatient, not having patience, in a way is living with our heart in the future. And we hope that the future comes quickly to meet us. And when we do that, we abdicate the present. And joy is to be found in the present. So I would invite you during the next few days to practice, or even the next 5 minutes, practice being grateful in the present. And don't let your heart get out ahead of you. You want your heart to be right where you are in the present. We talk about God's presence in the present. And that's where joy is to be found. That's where gratitude is to be found. And also Practice being patient. Practice waiting. Practice delayed gratification. Practice being able to wait patiently like a farmer, even when you don't actually see the progress happening. That's the good news for today, for those of you who want more gratitude and joy in your lives. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow.